Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Welcome to week 7 of the NFL Sunday Kickoff Show. I am your host with the most, Carl Coulange. Thank you for joining us live on Facebook and YouTube. Special shout out to all of our fans for always pulling up and subscribing to our content. We have a lot of games to get into this week. As always, we have a few teams who are on the bye. So I'll tell you real quick before I let in my contributors. We got the Broncos versus Browns. That game already happened, but we have the Panthers and the Giants, Jets and the Patriots, Chiefs, Titans, Washington football team, Packers, Falcons, Dolphins, Bengals, Ravens, Lions, Rams, Eagles, Raiders, Bears, Bucks, Texans, Cards, Colts, Niners, Saints, and Seahawks. Teams on the bye, we got the Steelers, Bills, Chargers, Jags, Cowboys, and the Vikings are all on the bye week. So again, thank you all for pulling up. I have some picks to contest because my contributors don't know what they're doing, and they seem to be losing by the minute. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to allow some of my guys to come in. We got Ricardo ATN, Dolphins Nations in the building. We got another new nickname. I don't know what he's going by this week, but you know he always seems to find a way to have a new nickname. So he will definitely explain it to us as they come in. Rick, are you here? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. What up? What up?
What's going on, fam? How you doing?
Good. Being fat, wrapping up my breakfast. You know what I mean?
What did you have this morning? What's on the menu?
Oh man, wifey whipped it up, man. She killed it. She got the French toast. Her French toast game is on point. So always good when she whip up some French toast. Got some bacon, some over medium eggs. You know what I mean? So
I like the haircut, Rick. I can't front. The lineup looks fresh.
I need to get shaped. Actually, I'm starting to look a little rough.
Paul, what was your breakfast like, sir? Did you have breakfast this morning?
Yeah, I did. You know, there's actually a guy from New York that opened up a bagel shop out here in the cloud, baby.
Oh,
and he allegedly transports the bagels or the water or some shit so we could actually get the quality. The problem with bagels and pizza in the state of Florida is the water.
Yeah.
So if you can transport the water like osmosis, then everything is gold. But yeah, so I actually hit up the bagel shop. You know, our mornings start early, hot and heavy with the king and the queen here, and 6 a.m. starts, baby. So I'm already on a snack, as you could imagine.
Deb's cooking up some breakfast. I had some Haitian breakfast at my mom. Rick would know this. She made some akasson, so I had some akasson.
Oh, yo. Yo, P, I'll tell you what, man. What you said is correct. All the best bagel and pizza shops that you're gonna find down here, they get the dough flown in from New York.
That's how they
like
do
either
it.
every morning or every other morning, something like that. But you definitely know the difference.
To kind of sum up Thursday.
Hey, Carl, hang on.
What's up, sir?
I heard your intro, player. All right, the whole let me bring in my contestants because they don't know what they're doing.
Listen. I gotta keep it a buck.
Make is a 50-50, baby.
Listen, I gotta keep it a buck because some of these things I'm looking at today don't look all too okay. Last week, I warned y'all about the Cardinals and the Ravens, and y'all literally disrespected and didn't listen to me. So Paul did. Listen, Paul did. I literally said to Paul, I'm like, the Ravens are playing well. He's like, no, and they win. And then the Cardinals, like you favor the Cardinals, but then you pick against them, and they're still undefeated. So, and then on Thursday, you had to pick right. And you literally changed it. And I'm like, bro, when you go with the first pick, you stick with the pick. And then you text me, wait, which one did you write down? You know which one I wrote down.
I try to trick you up, bro.
No, you can't do that. So
the original rule
deleting messages and whatnot.
Yeah.
Delete for everybody.
When he writes it down, it's final. You know what I'm saying? So I was hoping he wrote that down. You know what
I mean? So the Browns come away with the victory, by 3, 17-14. Paul, talk about it, because everyone was pretty much in the group real talk. They were going back and forth with that pick. Everyone was kind of like shit, like they didn't really want to make a pick. So
you know what it is for me. You know, a lot of us said this even before we knew if Beckham was playing, if Landry was playing. Cats picked the Browns because we know they can still defend. More importantly, we know the Broncos are a joke, right? So in the dog pound, short week, advantage always goes to the home team, especially when you don't really know what to expect from a backup quarterback. We didn't know what the scheme was going to be. But my, that offensive line. I mean, we've been celebrating Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Some dude from the street pulled up and ran wild, bro. So it's the system. Anybody eats in that system. And don't be surprised if Hunter's out long. I'm hearing Marlon Mack could potentially be a Cleveland Brown backing up Nick Chubb also. So anything is possible. But man, shout out to the Browns. They showed some fight. The fans is lit, and no one wants to talk about it. But Baker Mayfield may be out of a job in Cleveland. It's very possible.
Okay, before we even get into the picks, is it safe to say at this point, Rick, that like we're into week 7 now, so you kind of can separate the weak from the strong, right? You and you guys kind of said, well, we don't go by off record, but you kind of do though, don't you? Based off of the performances that you've seen, and I kind of get tired of you guys doing this, and I get it. Well, they're not playing great teams, but they're still winning games. So could we not just give those teams the credit for winning games and leave them as fan favorites?
Rick? The guy who says that ain't even on the air yet. Where is the guy?
No, he does, because he stayed tripping me up. No, he does, because I'm sitting here like if a team has a record of like 5-1, regardless of who they played, they're still their best in their division. So why are we going to disrespect them going into this week's games, right?
It's a combination of things. I mean, obviously the record is always going to be telling at face value. The eye test is super important. Like, that's one of the biggest things. A lot of people always like to discount the eye test when it comes to sports. You know what I mean? We can't just always look at the numbers. We can't just always look at the records. We can't just always look at the stats. Because, sometimes, they say numbers don't lie, but, sometimes they could paint a distorted picture. You know what I mean? So it's a combination of both. I'll give you a perfect example. We go back to last year. The last remaining undefeated team was the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for the longest time, there was a handful of folks in and out of this show every week, more or less, saying that they didn't believe in the Steelers, or some said they did believe in the Steelers. And you get down to the end of the season, and the Steelers didn't look like a team that, went undefeated for the most part of the year. So, it's not always just looking at the record. Now, what I will say, especially this week going through when I was making my picks, I think this week we do get a sense of where a majority of these games, I want to say we're easy, but a majority of these games you look at and you're like, oh yeah, we already know which way is this going to go. But then you got a couple that are still kind of toss-ups. There are still a handful of teams that could come out and look like world beaters one week and then the next week fall flat. You know what I mean? And you go to the record and look to see what they look like one way or the other, but it's still at the end of the day, any given Sunday,
and the only thing I want to, let me piggyback on that real quick.
Go ahead, sure.
Look at last year's Super Bowl champion, right? If we only looked at the numbers, then you say to yourself, no way in hell we had Tampa winning it all, right? Even getting there, right? On the road, 4 games in a row. Tampa was like legit a roller coaster last year, but then they got hot, right? So the eye test, to Rick's point, is gold, man. Like, trust your vision, trust what you know about the game. And the only thing I'll say about this year that's a little bit different from most is it's time for us to really get out of that mindset of thinking that who used to always be good isn't good anymore, right?
Yep.
Like the Steelers is one of them, the Seahawks. Like, we got to really condition ourselves to realize what we really see is what's really happening, right? Like, and it's no different in the NBA, right? Not to give the NBA the plug. Like, we have to condition ourselves to say, like, you know what, man? Like, they ain't a lock to make it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a super competitive league, man. Like,
we are. Well, you know what? I think that's a good thing. Yeah.
I was gonna say we're definitely seeing, like, to this point, we're starting to see that handing of the baton, that transition. Like, we're gonna start shifting into the next era. Obviously, Tom Brady's the outlier. He's always gonna be around. But outside of Brady, we are really starting to see a lot of shifts when it comes to who's the best teams, who's the best individual players.
And I always used to say the hardest thing, this is what makes the NFL, in my opinion, the best sport we watch, right? The hardest thing to do in the National Football League is be good back-to-back years, to be a winning team consistently. We took those Manning years for granted, for 12 straight in Indy, or the Brady in New England, the Eli days and the Giants before things went south. We took those things for granted. Even the Drew Brees and Nola, right? Like, consistently winning 12 games and being a home host in the playoffs. That may be gone for a while, man. We for the next few years, we may see a topsy-turvy in a lot of these divisions. It's very possible.
Well, just to give you guys a heads up, some of the popular teams, some of the teams are on the bye. The Cowboys, Vikings, Steelers, Bills, Chargers, and Jags are all on the bye. And as far as the prediction pick'ems, Manny is in first place at 67.
Shout out to the Raiders.
Rick is in 64. Rick and Declan are tied at 64 apiece. Peter is at 63 with Ray. Ray and Peter are at 63. We have Paul, you're at 61.
Damn.
Greg is at 60.
God damn.
And Chuck is at 58. So that's what
well,
we're standing right
if you
now.
were wondering what the name stood for today, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, trust everything except the picks. That's what the TEETP stands for. You can trust the content, you can trust the insight, but baby, do not trust the picks.
Oh man. So do not let Manny win. That's all I'll tell you guys that. Do not let him win. You will never hear the end of it. So let's start off easy. We got the Washington football team versus the Packers. Travis is running late, but he will be here. 2-4 for the Washington football team versus the 5-1 Packers. This is an easy alley here. Rick.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Packers got it figured out. They rolling right now. Washington football team doesn't look like a miserable squad. They're managing to be competitive just about each week, more or less. You know what I mean? Heineke's doing okay there in the backup position. At the end of the day, I think we're not seeing enough from Terry McLaurin. I think that's the biggest issue for Washington. I feel like he should definitely be having a little bit more success, even with a backup QB out there. You know what I mean? But, Aaron Rodgers is out there owning teams left and right. He's on this disrespect tour, especially since the embarrassment that they suffered out the first week of the season at Jacksonville by way of New Orleans. But they're rolling right now. I think they're firing on all cylinders, and we're going to see that continue today. So definitely give me the Packers.
Paul.
I'm going Packers in Lambeau. I just can't physically see a team like the Washington football team walk in there and score enough points to beat them, right? But I will say, I think to Rick's point, it has been a very frustrating season for all things Washington, between Gibson not getting the usage, between McLaurin not getting the touches, right? There's just been a very, people who drafted their defense, it's just been a very much of a, for lack of a better word, shit show in Washington. And they are playing competitive football. This low key is a trap game, right? Like they look really good at times against the Chiefs. But that was when they were at home. So give me Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Okay. We got, Eagles versus Raiders. The Eagles are 2-4. Raiders are 4-2. Peter went with the Eagles. Everyone else is going with the Raiders. What are your thoughts here, Paul?
If this game was in Philly, I would take Philly. There was some interesting stats about the Eagles that the numbers don't equal the eye test, right? So the Eagles have statistically one of the best offensive lines, but at the same token, they have the worst running game in football, right? And a below average passing attack. So I'm saying to myself, what the hell are they talking about? They're referring to time, pressure, and all these other things. So for that, I'm going Raiders. They have nothing to lose. They don't have a coach. I know Waller may not play, but they're in Vegas, tough crowd, sellout crowd. Long trip for the East Coast Eagles, man, and I don't think they do enough of a balance to be able to beat the Raiders, who play in every game. So give me the Raiders.
Rick?
Yeah, to make a point off of the Eagles specifically, talking about, as it pertains to having that great line and not necessarily seeing the productivity from the run game, specifically Miles Sanders, who I have in a couple leagues, and he's killing me. I know the talk after last week amongst the coaching staff and the Eagles is acknowledging the fact that they need to get Miles Sanders involved a bit more. So I'm very excited to see what that really turns into today. But at the end of the day, when the Raiders have been on, we've seen, talking about the eye test, the handful of games that the Raiders have really been on, they look like a very much improved team than we've seen in recent years from the Raiders. They've had a couple of blunders, yes, but overall, I do think they are a pretty solid team. So again, at home in Vegas, give me the Raiders.
I would hate to speak on Travis's behalf, but I'm sure he's going to come in here and say the same thing, or this is a tough one. This is a tough one, man.
Come back to me.
Yeah, come back to me, right? We got the Bears 3-3 versus the Bucks 5-1. So again, a lot of these games, like Rick said, these are some pretty easy games here. Rick?
Yeah, it's TB and the Bucks. Not having Gronk back and losing AB again. We saw when both of those guys were out earlier in the year, The offense did kind of sputter a bit, but I feel like they're starting to get into a groove now where it may not hurt them as much, especially the way Lenny been running out there, man. Fournette's been balling out these past couple of weeks. I would expect to continue seeing that, especially out catching the ball out of the backfield as well, So I would expect to see that continue. Mike Evans has come alive and whatnot. So still a long way to go for that Chicago offense. It could end up being a blowout early, and maybe at least we see Justin Fields have to air it out and start, continuing that progression as a pass throwing NFL quarterback. But yeah, give me the Bucks today.
All right, Paul, same thing.
I'm going Bucks, but I think it'll be closer than the world feels, right? I think Vegas has this as a 12 or 14 pointer, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that was all fine until I found out AB wasn't playing, and we know Gronk's not playing. And I think AB is by far the Bucks' best receiver, right? Not only is he Brady's most targeted receiver, but it's their best receiver. And without AB, a Chicago defensive backfield that's really good and can get after the passer makes this a tricky game, right? Like, the Bucks like to throw the ball 50 times. I'm not sure they'll be able to do that today. My only question mark is the lack of velocity that we're going to see from Matt Nagy and the Bears offense, and that's why I get calls for pause. So for that, I think it'll be a close game. I don't think the Bucks cover the spread, but I do go Bucks with a win today.
Texans versus the Cards. Texans are 1-5.
Now,
Cards
this is an easy one.
Yeah, man, that's a layup. What is that? That's like an 18-point spread or something like that.
But this is the kind of game in recent years we've seen the Cards lose, right? Like last year when they were rolling, these are the kind of games that they fell apart. And they almost had one of these earlier this year against the Niners. Like they won like 10-7 with Trey Lance at quarterback. Like these are the kind of games that the Cardinals used to lose. And most people might laugh at me when I say this is the kind of game I really think that propels them. Great teams don't lose games they're supposed to win. Doesn't happen, right? When we think about the greats, the teams that go on to be very, very dynamic, they take care of the business that they're supposed to take care of. Mm-hmm. And I think this is where the Cardinals really show the world when they go out there. I hope they don't cover because it's plus 925 if they don't cover, right? For the land of the bettors out there, right? We want them to win by 17, not 18, right? So give me Cardinals.
Rick, same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't no snitch or nothing, but yeah, there's a lot of money coming in favor.
I already know.
In favor of that below.
Listen, 18 is a lot. That's
I'm curious, Rick, because I'm curious. So, like, someone puts like $100 on this game, they can make a lot more than that.
Someone is me, Carl.
Yeah, I mean, if it's against the spread, yeah.
So $75 against this spread is a $1,500 payout.
Yeah.
So if I put so you're telling me, is it too late?
It depending on who you bet with.
Yeah, I mean,
you might be able to get it in.
You got a bookie. You in a legal state, no, right? You got bookies all over New York, bro. You should be
New
good.
York, they got them everywhere, especially in East Islip.
Because I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe a little something here.
Carl, think about it. You don't have to know anything about the game. Most of the people who bet in Vegas don't watch football. But 18 points is a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. I mean, it can happen. Obviously, we see it happen, but it is tough to expect.
Teams are typically far more competitive than we think. 18 is 3 scores, man. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely consider it. Why not, right? I ain't got nothing to lose. $75. That's not that much.
That's a bad dinner, baby.
We got the Chiefs 3-3 versus the Titans.
Oh wait, I didn't give you my pick, man. You don't even know.
You did. I know what you going with the Cards, man.
Do you know that for sure?
I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I already know that for sure. We got the 3-3 Chiefs versus the 4-2 Titans. Manny's the only one going with the Titans. Everybody else is going with the Chiefs here. Paul.
I'm going with the Chiefs entirely differently from what most people are. It's interesting as we watch these picks every week. People are intimidated and terrified to pick against the Chiefs, right? I think I might be the only one who's picked against them and actually won this year with the Buffalo pick. When you really think about it, I don't trust Tennessee, right? They showed up on I will give them credit. They showed up Sunday night against Buffalo. I think the world has suddenly turned their back on the allure from Patrick Mahomes. And I think Patrick Mahomes has a statement game today. 1:00 track meet. I think they run the Titans out of their own arena in Nashville today. Hill goes wild, Kelsey gets off, Williams gets busy. I don't even think this is going to be a close one, in my opinion, right? So for that, I'm going Chiefs. But people, I think, are just plugging the Chiefs in because of what we used to see. This is one of those things we were talking about we have to condition ourselves to realize the league is more competitive. They found out teams have caught up to the Chiefs mojo, right? Like how in the NBA they caught up to the Warriors really quickly. NFL they caught up to them faster.
I don't know. I don't think about
faster.
that. That's debatable. No one caught up to the Warriors. The
Are you
Warriors
crazy?
Just got hurt. They just got
They
hurt.
didn't just get hurt. They
Yes,
lost
they
to the
did.
Cavaliers.
That's a conversation for another day. Listen,
Carl,
let's
Carl,
not do this. Listen,
They
I'll say
lost
that
to
for the
the
winner.
Cavs.
Listen,
And
let's
they
not do
should have
this.
lost. And
Let's
they
not
should
do
have
this right
lost
now.
to a choking KD before he jumped on the team. Don't forget they were down 3-1.
We don't do shoulds, but they didn't. No one
we
caught
don't
up to
do
the
ifs.
Warriors.
We don't do ifs.
We don't.
They should have lost.
Shoulds are different than ifs.
Exactly.
No one ever caught up to the Warriors, bro. They just got hurt.
They
just got hurt.
Did
Warriors
they get
got
hurt
hurt.
against the Cavs in 2016?
No, someone got suspended, but like I said, that's a conversation for another day. That's a conversation for another day. So Rick, what are you going in here with the game?
So I'm gonna be against the grain on this one. Similar for a lot of the reasons that Paul just gave too. Like the Titans is one of those teams that I am dying to believe in. You know what I mean? Like they've got what it takes on the roster. It just comes down to putting it together and being consistent. I think the performance we saw from them last week is one of those types of games that puts, kind of everything in perspective as far as what they're working towards. So you go up against what many are saying is the best team in the AFC, who traveled ridiculously. I mean, we've seen all the pictures and the videos and heard all the stories. Buffalo was in the building the other night,
Legit,
you know what I'm saying, in Nashville. That was almost an away game for Tennessee. And to play the way they did, to now follow it up with, again, a consensus favorite within the AFC. These are two games that you got to win back-to-back if people are going to take you seriously. Again, that line is a little bit in flux. They've had some injuries here and there. They've regressed a little bit from what we saw specifically last year. But King Henry's still out here just balling and running through people. We know the Chiefs defense ain't much to really stand up for. So it's going to take a huge effort from them to kind of keep everybody in check. But again, I want to believe in the Titans so much. And I feel like this 2-game stretch, 2 wins here, makes people actually look and pay attention. If the Titans are going to want to be taken seriously, this is a game they're going to have to win today. So give me the Titans at home.
Travis, nice of you to join us, sir. I mean, the time hasn't changed for the last 7 weeks. And you want to be on some CPC.
Are you outside of a strip club?
No, I'm currently in a gas station on my way to family obligations, which is messing up my football Sunday. I'm not happy about it. Okay,
what family? I don't got no family on Sunday.
You bring your whole child on TV. I don't want to hear.
Because he's a football on Sundays. Literally, I throw his ass around.
I'm here for a few minutes.
Well, it's okay. You know what, Travis? It's okay because in 2 weeks I got to be away at a conference for work. So Smoke and Mirrors will be filling in on the Sunday show.
Wow, that's
breaking news.
It's breaking news. So in 2 weeks I will be in
contrary.
So I'll be in Saratoga for the weekend.
Carl gonna let the inmates run the asylum?
They've earned that right.
The teachers away. We gonna have all types of fun.
Listen, I know y'all probably gonna go like 3 hours too.
Hey, maybe
3 hours.
it could be like maybe it could be like those TikToks where people are beating up teachers because me and Deck got beef.
And contrary to your belief, Carl, the Raiders-Eagles game is not a tough one, okay? I'm going straight Raiders on that one, all right?
Okay, so let's do that. So
I'll send you the rest of the picks I missed later. Where are we at? Titans and Chiefs?
No, I can go through them with you if you want. I don't have a problem. We have time. We
don't want you cheating here, Trav.
Yeah, we got watch the football team versus the Packers. Who you got? Watch the football team versus Packers.
Packers on that one. That's easy, man. That pass rush from the Washington football team is not what we expected.
Bro, he just needs your picks. You don't give no details. You late,
you know I can give a quick rundown. Come on now. Come on now.
Do we know that?
I'm ready to move on already. You dragging it out. I'm ready to move on already.
You late.
Texans versus Cards.
Easy, that's Cards, man. Revenge game for Watt and Hopkins.
Bucks versus Bears.
Bucks versus Bears, that's easy. Bucks.
Okay. What else do we cover? Chiefs versus Titans.
Chiefs versus Titans, man. That's gonna be a good one right there. I'm gonna end up going Chiefs on this one. I just don't think the Titans. I mean, we know they have the weapons, but we haven't seen the explosion from the passing game yet, man. And that defense is still not what it needs to be.
What passing game? Ryan
But that's what I'm
Tannehill
saying.
is a joke.
That's what I'm saying. We know they have the weapons, but we haven't seen the explosiveness yet from that passing game. And you're gonna need that. I mean, even though the Chiefs are struggling, they're still the Chiefs. You're gonna need some explosive plays. So I'm gonna go Chiefs on that.
All right, Rick. Let's go.
I do think Derrick Henry gets his though. He going off today.
Here's another easy game. Lions versus Rams. That's an easy one.
Rams.
Oh yeah.
I kind of want to go Goff in the revenge factor, but he just don't. He got called out by his coach last week, but he just don't have the team for it, man. I want to give it to him, but he just don't have it.
So
go
ahead, Rick. You go first.
I'll tell you what. You mentioned the call out factor. You know, I think Campbell calling him out is a very good coaching tactic.
Goal, bro.
You let them know what's up.
It was definitely strategic.
Very strategic. You let them know what's up going into this type of game where it's like, hey, we're gonna need you to shine. If you're gonna do it, this is the game that you need to do it. You know, so I don't know what we're gonna see from him, but Goff gonna have nothing but all types of mojo and energy to be able to come out there and show something. I like the rookie receiver out there, St. Brown. I'm playing him in a couple lineups, man. I think whether they're getting blown out or not, he's gonna get some great touches. But at the end of the day, man, I think the Rams are gonna be way too powerful for the Lions today.
Okay, so we got Rams, Paul, Rams, clean sweep.
Yes. However, here's what I'm gonna say. I agree with Rick 100%. And that was a tactical move by Campbell. Campbell's going to be the coach next year, no matter how they finish. Will Goff be the quarterback? Who knows? He can get cut at $0 cost to the Detroit Lions, and they earn draft picks from your boys out there in LA. So that's a win-win situation. They're playing with house money. But you know what I will say is I don't care if the Rams win this game. I got them winning. Just don't win by more than 16 points. All right? Because this is another one of those big payouts, Carl. Right?
I gotta find the bookie because I could put $50 here and there. I need to find a local bookie. I need to find a local bookie. That's
keep it within 16 and we go big. Plus 825.
You hitting a parlay or you want individual tickets?
I got a couple. I just some straights and a couple parlays.
Okay.
A couple 16 joints.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is,
Rick, I saw that thing you sent on the Fanduel.
Do we need a gambling show?
Listen, I'm considering it. I'm thinking about it.
For $150, they say the projected payouts is $7,500. $7,500.
Greg is saying that Goff gets benched in the second half. That's what he's saying.
You said Goff is getting benched in the second half?
That's what Greg says.
Oh hell no, Greg, you tripping?
No,
Goff's gonna play.
Not against the Rams
back there. Goff's gonna play.
If Goff get benched in the second half, he may as well just grab an Uber home. Like
they might as well cut him.
They ain't even gonna take him back to Detroit.
We do have some people in the comments asking about the parlay. So we have some people who want to bet.
Hey, I got some info for y'all. If y'all want to know what I'm rolling with tonight, I could tell you. Quick. I got it right here on the screen. That's what you want to roll with.
We got your Panthers 3-3, Trav, versus the Giants 1-5. Trav, who you got?
Man, I'm going Panthers in this one. We're coming in on a 3-game losing streak, but we got the win. If we can't win against the Giants, pack it up.
It wasn't so hot now, was it? 3 weeks ago. It was all good 3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Right. It was all good.
They was winning the division 3 weeks ago.
A few weeks ago.
Rick, who you got, sir?
Yeah, I think this is the type of game that could help the Panthers get back on the roll, back to where they was at. We've seen what the Giants look like. I don't expect them to look any different this week. Panthers definitely need to start getting a couple of wins until C-Mac comes back, if he comes back, whenever that does happen, because we've seen that they are a completely different team when he is there in the backfield. Darnold has shown, some promise when he has that threat lined up behind them. So they definitely need to get this win to continue to keep their heads above water in the NFC while they're missing C-Mac.
Paul, Panthers as well?
Nope. I'm going with the G-Men today in Meadowlands. I think Daniel Jones with a cast of misfits led by Darius Slayton and a bunch of unknowns will be enough to beat Sam Darnold's erratic roller coaster like performances. It took him literally 49 minutes and 37 seconds to complete a pass last week and go on a march. This week, I think the Giants play inspired football. We know the G-Men fans are still loyal for some honest, God-forsaken reason, and it's going to be a tough environment for the Panthers. I think they won't be able to run, which means they won't be able to pass. So for that, I'm going with the Giants. Give me the upset.
1-4 Jets versus the 2-4 Patriots.
Oh,
Travis.
damn. Yeah, that's a blowout right here.
Rookie quarterbacks are like, I think they said 0-12 or something in Foxborough, man. The Patriots already put a whooping on the Jets in the Meadowlands. Man, I'm going Pats on this one. This is an easy one.
Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a different angle. A rookie quarterback in the NFL has never experienced a bye week. So we're talking about a Zach Wilson, fresh off a lot of money, flying straight from London and had a full week off. I know they're going to struggle against this defense today. You threw 4 picks on his first 4 passes last time.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know what he's going to do today, but I know they start way too late. They are poor starters for the Jets. They haven't scored a touchdown in the first quarter all season. I know Mac Jones is starting to pick up steam with that super duper conservative offense, throwing 7-yard out routes. So for that, give me Mac Jones. Give me Damian Harris running wild for DraftKings and Fanduel's sake at $5,700. But I'm going with the Patriots.
Rick, clean sweep.
Yeah. My first pick in the bad QB league today was one Zach Wilson, bro. So
had to be, bro.
So
tier one.
You already know.
So Pats.
So give me the Pats.
All right, we got somebody who's spamming the chat right now.
I was just about to say, you made it when you're getting spammed in the chat, man. He got to get up out of there, though. Man.
Yeah, I'm blocking him. You're blocked.
Messing
Sorry.
with the comments,
we got a Jet fan in the chat.
Nah, someone who's spamming. He's just spamming like some shit in there, man. We don't have time for that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Stunting the flow in the comments. Man.
I know. All right, we got Rick. You're on the deck. You're on the clock, sir. We got your 1-5 Dolphins versus the 2-3 Falcons. I know. The trade talks were buzzing for your team. It's not what you thought going in. It's looking a little rough, shaky, baby, like Mike would say for you. You got here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. I mean, I was on Smoke and Mirrors the other day. Shout out to the fellas for having me on so we could talk Dolphins football and whatnot. But the whole situation is a mess, and it continues to get even messier. And it sucks because it's at no fault to Tua. Yeah, the injuries are a thing, but you got to let a young QB progress and learn. I mean, this goes back to last year when I said that they threw him in there way too early to begin with, and it's definitely showing now. We should have waited back then and given them the time to really get settled in and come in correctly, because now they're starting to jump the gun. I'm here on the show today. It is a home game, as y'all know, but I'm here at the crib. Why? Because I'm not happy with my organization. And I'll be completely honest. I'll be completely honest. You know what I mean? I chose not to go to the game today just because I'm not happy with the organization and what they're doing right now. You know what I mean?
Imagine being a season ticket holder and don't want to go because he hates the organization.
Facts.
Right, like a little kid.
Damn, all of
you
Knicks
being
fans.
bad. You get money, so
Rick, did you throw an adult temper tantrum? Be honest.
Right.
Did you throw the adult temper tantrum?
Nah, not even. You know what? Because here's the thing. I understand the vibes. I know we've been talking about it. I knew this is where it was headed. I hope that we didn't get here, but I knew this is where it was gonna be. And
let me answer that for my bro. Hell yeah, he did. That's a 3-hour drive. I'm driving 6 hours.
And listen, and the drive there ain't bad. The drive there ain't bad. It's the drive back that sucks.
The back one is crazy, bro.
You know what I mean? So again, I would love.
I didn't know you was that far.
I would love for this to be one of those games where we could turn it up, and I hope they do, man. I really hope Tua goes out there and balls out in front of the home crowds, because that's another thing I mentioned on Friday, man. People talk a lot of shit about Miami sports fans, which is valid, for the most part. But the people who really do love that team and really go hard for the Dolphins, man, they show up there and really go hard. And I know they're gonna be there, and I know they're gonna be back into it for the most part. Hopefully it doesn't get ugly early, but one way or the other, we are going to start seeing this fan base really turn on either the organization or Tua. I'm not looking forward to that at all, but this is one of those trap situation games that can make all of the matters worse. And unfortunately, I have to lean on the side of Atlanta coming out with this win and really, really setting us into a major tailspin, worse than we are right now. So,
let's see, Travis.
I completely disagree with Rick on this one. I mean, yes, we all know the trade rumors. We all know what's going down there in the organization. But I don't think this will be I think this game is an easy Miami win for them. This is one of the ones where they get a bounce back game.
So was last week.
I mean, listen, you were
last
in
week was easier.
You're in London. It's a situation.
So you're going Dolphins?
Yes, sir.
All right. Paul.
You know, I don't love Atlanta. I don't love it in real life. I don't love it in fantasy sports.
Listen. Let's not disrespect Atlanta like that.
And
man.
I don't love.
Some of the best strip clubs come out of Atlanta, man. Let's not do that. Let's not do that, son. Chicken wings and waffles, buddy. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not disrespect Atlanta like that. I had my bachelor party in Atlanta. Listen, let's not disrespect Atlanta like that.
Carl, you want wings? You go to Wingstop. All right, we got them everywhere.
Carl, let me tell you this. You need to pull up the Tampa. We're gonna change your mind.
Come on down.
Pull up the Tampa.
I've been to Atlanta twice.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say all that now. I ain't gonna go that far with it. But I agree with the part on Atlanta.
And let me tell you something. I don't even love I hate Atlanta more considering they beat the Dodgers last night. All right. I wanted to see Astros Dodgers. All right. So here's what I'm gonna say. I'm going Dolphins, and I'm going Dolphins because adversity is a real thing. I don't know what it's like to be drafted as the face of a franchise, but never be embraced as the face of the franchise at the quarterback position. The way the Dolphins have handled the Tua situation might be the worst thing we've seen. I could only think of the Andrew Wiggins pick by the Cavs in another sport, right? When we knew for a fact he was getting dished for LeBron James in some sort of package, right? Or Kevin Love, sorry. When I think about it, it's like, man, they really dealt this man a dirty hand. They was talking to Deshaun Watson before week 1 of the season. So why would I be surprised they're talking about it in week 5, 6? I'm not. But after all that's said and done, Tua knows that if he gets the ball in number 17 and his tight end Mike Gesicki, they will win today's football game. This is a track meet. And Atlanta can't stop a nosebleed. This is 2 weeks in a row where Tua gets to play like he's still at Alabama, where he gets to air the ball out, spread the ball, and do what he does great. If he does that today and he does it early, the fans will be on his. They won't be on his back. They'll be cheering for him. If he comes out there and he makes a stupid throw like he did in the third quarter in London, it'll be a different story. All right. So I'm going. I think the defense plays inspired football against an aged Matt Ryan who can't move in the pocket, and Mike Davis can't do anything on the ground. So I'm going Dolphins.
Are you still? You said you were upset that the Braves made it. Are you still? Listen, John Rocker's no longer on their team, buddy. You know,
hey, John Rocker. I was a Yankee guy, so John Rocker, the Braves, I know can't get it done. They're a not get it done organization.
Listen,
right?
To be fair, listen, 2 of their top teams, the Hawks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now the Braves are in the World Series. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We're talking facts.
We all know Atlanta's going to Atlanta, so therefore it is what it is.
Give me the Astros.
All right.
I gotta give a quick shout out to the clean Green Bay Packers. Brought out them throwbacks today, boy.
Let's go to a tough game. In the words of Travis, this is a tough one, man. Bengals 4-2 versus the Ravens 5-1. Last week, I told y'all to don't bet against the Ravens, and y'all didn't listen to me. So I'm gonna say it again. The Ravens are 5-1, and they're cooking right now. So be very mindful.
Even wore a Bret Hart Ravens T-shirt today.
All right. So Travis, everyone's going with the Ravens on this one. What are your thoughts?
Everybody went Ravens?
I hate to tell you, but I'm gonna need you to leave the tough calls to me because this is not a tough call right here. Okay,
really?
This is a clear Ravens win right here.
Let's hear it from the gas station, Trav. Let's hear it from the gas station.
Don't get me wrong. The Bengals are playing good football. They are a top 10 run defensive team, but this is a different type of run offense you're facing with the Ravens, man. Lamar Jackson is probably playing the best ball I believe of his entire career so far. That team is clicking right now. The defense is coming around in the form. I think this is an easy win. I'm not gonna say I hate to say there's no easy wins in the NFL, but this is a clear win for the Ravens.
Before we go, Greg said, how did no one mention Patterson and Pitts factor for Atlanta? That's what he said.
So one thing I will say, and I saw that and I was thinking about it too, I didn't point it out specifically, anybody who's watched enough Miami Dolphins football, Lord knows I have, we cannot defend talented tight ends whatsoever. So this can very well be a game where we see Kyle Pitts go
Rick,
off
don't
for like
answer that question. All right.
and 2 touchdowns.
Rick, Greg is going to do whatever he can to make sure that University of Florida stays relevant in our minds and on our hearts. But let me tell you something, Greg. I'm with you, bro. I love Kyle Pitts, but I think Miami stopped him. Who I hate is Cordell Patterson playing running back wearing number 84. He drives me crazy, bro. Change your number, bro.
So Paul,
but you was the one said it. No, then I wasn't you. Never mind.
It wasn't me.
Okay. Paul, who you got in this game? Ravens, Bengals.
I'm going Ravens, but Travis is tripping talking about this is an easy one. It ain't. And let me tell you why.
No, it's not. I don't think it is.
First of all, it's a division game.
Yeah.
They play each other tough even when the Bengals wasn't lit, right? Bengals are lit. They're healthy this week, right? They can stop the run. The thing that they can't really do a great job is stop the pass. So I think Mark Andrews runs wild out of the tight end slot. Hollywood connects if he doesn't drop the ball, which he's done each of the last 4 weeks for a touchdown. Hollywood has a big day. I think it'll be a close game, though. For example, in my parlay, this is a 6.5. I took the Bengals on that. Give me less than that, right? Burrow finds a way to keep these teams and this team in the game. They have the balance inside out. They have a trio of backs that'll play this week. P-Ron and Evans will be healthy behind Mixon. And we know about that trio at the receiver position. Interesting stat. Y'all know I don't try to throw too many stats at y'all.
A nugget.
The Ravens are the number 1 team blitzing. You know who's the number 1 team, the number 1 quarterback against the blitz this year? Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. He has a 145 rating. He's thrown 7 touchdowns against the blitz. 5 of them to Jamar Chase. So my point is, you can't sleep on this team. What you normally do has to be different because they keep coming. They're literally like Shakur Stevenson last night. If for the boxing fans out there, they're gonna keep coming and they're gonna throw them punches, and that's all I can tell you. So it's gonna be a close one.
My man Paul speaking gospel this morning, bro. Got the Sunday best. You got the gospel. Got the gospel to us this morning. Yo.
Trust everything.
I felt that. I felt that one, Paul. I felt that one. My man came with the gospel on Sunday.
Trust everything except the picks. So if you heard all of that and you still go Bengals, just know I didn't pick them, but you should have.
Rick, are you going with the panel? Everyone else got the Ravens. Is that a clear
I mean, what's not to love when it comes to what the Bengals are doing? I mean, you want to talk about, doing a quick turnaround rebuild. They've been doing it correctly the past couple of drafts. They've been getting talent in there, building a great offense specifically. Defense, they got a little room to work there, but definitely building a great offense and whatnot. So love to see what they're doing. This isn't a divisional game. Looking forward to one of them classic, hard-hitting, banging games, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, on the other side, when we're talking about the Ravens, this version of the Ravens that we're seeing is the most dangerous version we could possibly get. And what do I mean by that? They're able to do it in every single way. This is a team who lost every single running back in the locker room.
Left tackle.
You know what I mean? And let's not even talk about the other positions, but just specifically losing every single running back. And you want to talk about literally going out, jumping in the DeLorean and going to grab, the 2011, 2012 running back all-stars and come out here and still be managing to put up a hell of a run game. Last week, they come out there and score 30-plus points, blow the doors off of a team that was a lot of people's pick to be next in line, and look at the Lamar's stats. Almost nothing. You know what I mean?
It was a fantasy fluke for Lamar.
As great as that team looked last week, their stud didn't ball out, So when you could get that type of game from a team effort collective like that, that defense is starting to really come alive. They're not the old school Ravens defense that we know, but they're starting to play, and look like something similar. This version of the Ravens is a dangerous, dangerous team. So I'm rolling with the Ravens today, man.
And the only thing I'm gonna add, they're playing with with team chemistry as if this was the playoffs, right? Like this was week 15. They already got that now, right? They've done it all. Lost people, came back from getting blown out, won big games, got over the hump against the Chiefs. Literally, they're checking the boxes, bro.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of that, you mentioned the team chemistry. Like the vibe that the Ravens got is different than any other team you see throughout the league. I go back to even the point where, it's coach and QB like, hey, you want to go for it? Yeah, I want to go for it.
All right, let's do it.
Then F it, go for it.
Go run your play.
You don't see that. You don't see that just about anywhere else in the league. And that matters, man. That makes a huge difference when you get into that locker room and ask the rest of the 52 guys.
Not just the league,
that's been the history of that organization, though. They've always had a certain level of belief and empowerment within the players, and it's always been a tight nigga. You go back to the Ray Lewis days, you go back to all those, like, they've always been that way. And it's just that chemistry and that empowerment has somewhat shifted to the offensive side because of the franchise quarterback and Lamar Jackson. But the Ravens organization has always been that way. That's why it's always been one of the better organizations in the NFL.
MVP for Lamar. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll tell you what, though, we got 10 weeks left, but I'm already getting excited for the playoffs just looking at some of these teams that we've been discussing on the
I'm excited after this one. Who we got next?
I'm excited for them too. I'll give you get there. I'm excited. You know why? Because I don't be losing in the playoffs with the picks when it don't
count. So let me get you last two games, Trav. So we got Colts Niners. Give me your pick on that, and then Saints and Seahawks.
I forgot about Saints. I'm gonna go Saints on that one, and then I picked the 49ers.
You're going Saints. You're a Saints fan.
And
I'm not a Saints fan. I'm a Panthers fan. Shut up.
Send my love. Listen, send my love to the family. Enjoy your Sunday with them, and catch up on the games. And we'll talk to you soon, man. Be well.
All right, be easy, fellas.
All right, we'll keep you in the chat because we know you ain't gonna be watching no games.
I know. I'll get around.
I've never met somebody going to a family function. Listen, I've never met somebody going to a family function so disappointed. Like, damn, bro. Like, put a smile on your face. Like,
you're not watching this, bro.
You're not hiding it. You're not hiding it at all. Like, damn. What did your auntie do?
I got the book bag with the laptop. I got a portable screen in there. We about to be set up in a little bit. All right.
You're not happy to see your auntie? Come on, man. Your auntie got the.
Listen, they have everything except the Wi-Fi password.
They can see me. Later,
don't be that family member.
Enjoy.
Show up asking for the Wi-Fi password, right? Don't be that family member.
I already got the Wi-Fi password. I've been there already.
Take care, man.
Later.
All right, guys. We got the Colts versus the Niners. Paul, let me ask you. This one looks like a tough one. 2-4 Colts versus the 2-3 Niners.
You know what? It's tough for some, but I'm rolling with the Niners today, baby. And let me tell you why. First week off, that's the one team in the sport that needed a week off, was the banged up Niners. They needed it. Jimmy G, the running backs, the O-line, they come back healthy. The extra week to install a game plan against a Colts team that can't really stop anybody. They're without T.Y. Hilton the moment they got him back. So now offensively, they're back to being this. We don't know what we're going to see because I don't think Taylor runs wild against this Niners defense. So I think the Niners not only win today, but I think they get hot. So watch out for the Niners trying to get that wild card slot that we was talking about earlier in the year. Niners.
I'm actually going the opposite way here. I think over the past couple of weeks, we've seen the Colts kind of start getting a little bit of an identity, start pulling things together a little bit on offense. Carson Wentz has looked a lot better when he doesn't have two broken ankles. And again, I think for the Niners, again, getting beat down with these injuries, a lot of rotating parts throughout the roster and whatnot. And I just don't feel like they're going to be able to nail it down yet and put it all together. Debo, I'm looking forward to seeing Debo come off a bye and hold me down in a couple of my leagues and whatnot. But outside of that, man, I think the Colts are going to be able to put it together and get a win out here today.
All right. And we have in our Monday night matchup, we have the Saints versus the Seahawks. Is Russell Wilson still out?
What a snooze fest. My goodness.
Yeah. That's a
rough
one for Monday night.
He's
still
out. Yeah. I mean, they were thinking that Wilson would be playing. That's what they were thinking.
I was thinking they should have changed that schedule.
We got to start flexing Monday night games, man.
That's tough to do, though. That's hard to flex a Monday night game at the end. Like that's a real hard flex. That's real hard to do. Rick, who you got? Clearly, everyone. Well, Manny went with the Seahawks. Everybody else went with the Saints.
All right. So here's the thing, man. Like the past 2 weeks, I've gone Seahawks. I have faith in the Seahawks, similarly to the same way I have faith in the Titans where, roster-wise, they got what it takes to really be good. Obviously, when your starting quarterback is out, that kind of changes things up. Both times we've seen Geno out there, for the most part, he's looked decent. He's been able to manage the game until you get to the end of the game and he turns into Geno, But you look at the other side, I mean, we've got Jameis, who can be a wild card too. You know what I mean? So as bad as Geno can look, Jameis could be like, hey, hold my crab legs, I'm going to do it better, So I'm not too sold on the Saints. Yeah, they're coming off a bye, and I would think that hopefully that can knock off some of them cobwebs and we get one of those up style famous Jameis games. But again, I'm pretty impressed with what I've been able to see the Seahawks do despite having Geno back there as quarterback. So as long as he doesn't ruin the game at the end of the game once again in the fourth quarter or whatnot, I'm inclined to believe that the Seahawks are going to be able to have enough to pull it out. So I'm going to take
your third week in a row, you're going with the
third
Seahawks.
Third week in a row. This might be the last time they screw me again, man. I might be done with them until
So they screwed you the last 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks straight, yeah. So
man,
there's three strikes and I'm out on them until Russ come back.
All right, Paul, who you got for this snooze fest you called on a Monday night?
It's a tough one, man. This is a tough one. This is a toss up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going Seahawks. I haven't picked the Seahawks much this year, but I'm going with Seahawks because Pete Carroll still finds a way to get this team inspired, and they install a good game plan. That's the one thing I've always given Carroll credit for. They're always in games. They're at home, tough crowd with the time difference, man. Like, it'll probably be raining in Seattle, like something normal, right, and cold. Like, it'll be all these weird factors that will help Alex Collins and that running game get going. And all Geno has to do is not turn the ball over, and they can win this game. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I didn't even write. I actually wrote the Saints down, but I'm going Seahawks. I'm going to change my pick. I'm going with the
Who
Seahawks.
needed the bye week the most out of the teams on? We got Steelers, Bills, Chargers, Jags, Cowboys, Vikings.
Oh, the Bills, if you ask me. They got humbled, right? 10 days ago, Buffalo Nation was thinking Super Bowl, right? After what they did to the Chiefs. They literally stepped on the Chiefs' throat a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they started off hot. But to get punked like that by Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown and get backup cornerbacks locking up, I mean, that was a bad loss in prime time. And it made people really start saying, like, is this our year if you're a Bills fan, right? So for that, I think no team needed to regroup and refresh their minds more than the Bills. The worst team that went on bye week is the Jags. When you win your first game in 2 years, the worst thing you can do is go out there and play again. To have a week off is a disaster.
Yeah.
Right? So
the playoff format's going to be the one like last year, right? The way they added the teams?
Yeah. So it's just one. I'll say, I think, piggybacking off of that, I agree with the Bills, and I'd even throw in the Chargers specifically because of the way they lost.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna throw you another one. I think Pittsburgh really need a bye right now because you're in a division where you have been controlling for the most part for a while now, and all of a sudden you look up and you're the worst team in that division.
Yeah.
So getting a bye right now, kind of figuring things out, seeing what you can tweak and try to come out for this long home stretch and see what you can do in this division, because none of those other three teams look like they're going to start, collapsing anytime soon. So it's really going to be how you manage within that division. So Pittsburgh's going to need to come out of this bye. And when they start playing these games against the Browns and the Ravens and the Bengals, they're going to have to get some wins if they're going to want to be anything within that division the way they have been historically.
It's funny you said that because a couple of weeks I got some slack from the group when I said they'll have a new coach in Pittsburgh. It wasn't a knock on Mike Tomlin. It's a knock on the movement. You can't love Mike Tomlin because he's this great coach, but want him to be a coach for a rebuild. That's not who Mike Tomlin is, right? Which is why I said the encouraging thing for Giant fans is maybe Mike Tomlin might be available, right? The challenge that Pittsburgh is going to have is one that I made as a hot take on Smoke and Mirror. Shout out to the bros about how the Yankees will be a bad team for the next few years. I think the Steelers will be no different. The only advantage the Yankees has is their checking account, right? In baseball, you can spend top dollar and get guys. In football, you can't, right? People aren't moving around as much. Typically, the great teams are drafted. So when you think about the Steelers' problem, the lack of succession plan at QB or someone they could even turn to today, they're going to be bad for a while, like a real long while, because this is the worst year to be bad because there's no good quarterbacks in the draft, right? Like they all suck, right? The guy that was a number 1 QB doesn't even start in college anymore, right? Like so, the kid in Oklahoma, like he's not even a starter anymore.
Yeah.
So when you really think about it, this is the worst year to not have a plan, like a futuristic succession plan. This is the worst year. There's no bench for success. So they'll be bad not only this year, next year, and probably a couple years after that.
Any fantasy tips out there?
No fantasy tips, but the fans asked for the parlay, so let me give it to y'all. All right? So I got a couple. But here's one that I think is actually gonna win. Right, $50 pays $1,200. It's a real thing. Giants at +3, Tennessee at +4.5, Dolphins at +2. I went with the under for the Jets Patriots game at 42.5, and the Texans at +18. That's a $50 spend that nets an $11.96 payout. I got a couple straight bets, $50 on the Lions. That's $862 payout if they don't lose. Right? If they don't lose by more than 17 points. And the same with the Texans, right? All you got to do is lose. Just don't get blown off the field, baby.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for. Right?
Okay, so Rick, any FanDuel tips or anything like that for the fans since we don't have any fantasy or no?
I mean, like I said, I mentioned St. Brown earlier, man. That's somebody I've been kind of keeping an eye on out with the Lions. Bateman too, man. Bateman, I think might be able to add a little something to the Ravens offense, So that's somebody to kind of keep an eye on. If you're doing DFS, man, his value is really dope. It's super low price. So those are the type of guys I'm kind of looking at, those fringe wide receivers that you can get at a very low price and could get some great productivity out of.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us here on the Sunday NFL Kickoff Show. Tomorrow we'll have Smoke and Mirrors at 7 o'clock to preview the Monday Night Football game. They'll be talking about the World Series for sure. Also, Wednesday, Mike Miller claps back to all the fans who have anything to say about Reggie Miller being on the 75 list. Because,
I'm tuning in for that one.
I may actually have you pull up for that one because, Reggie, listen.
I don't got no beef for Reggie Miller, bro. Like
people have a lot of beef for Reggie.
Listen, Reggie, you can't. You just can't omit Reggie's career, right? Like in his style of play. Like Reggie wasn't super athletic. He wasn't overly talented. He was a specialist, and a specialist that did not take no for an answer. Like he killed anybody. Jordan, didn't matter whoever. Reggie was gonna take them shots and he was gonna make them shots.
Yeah. So we have a lot.
I'm a Reggie guy. Y'all already know, man. I'm with Reggie on this.
But Sam Jones, though. There's a whole lot. All I'm gonna say, there's a whole lot of Celtics on the list, and a lot of that is consolation prizes when they were playing against nobodies in the 50s. That's all I'm saying, bro.
We can't do that. We can't do that though.
But
you know what, Carl? I can do that, Carl.
We can't do that, man.
Yes, I can.
We can't rewrite history, bro.
Like, but listen, that's why
that's not their fault.
The list. That's why
that's not their fault who they played. Like,
can I give you? Can I throw an example?
It's the same thing with the 100. It's the same thing with the 100 NFL list. Like. Or the Mount Rushmore that we do. But we can't take away what they did.
Guess what? Every year that 100 list is refreshed and start from
every year.
Scratch.
And it's about current players.
But you know what? NBA, they don't do this every year. They do it for every like 25. Like they
every 25
they did 75. So
from scratch.
Which is why it was more disrespectful.
People should stay locked in there.
I mean, Carl, how could we love that Dennis Rodman is on the list but hate that Mutombo's not? Right? Like
I'm not saying he shouldn't be.
Bro. Like,
you're right.
If we defense, then how do we not have?
But guess what? We got 2 spots that went to Damian Lillard and Anthony Davis, and no one's saying anything about those 2 spots, right? So what are we talking about here, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, like AD deserves to be on the spot after 10 years. That's what we're talking about right now. And so does Lillard.
I will say, both of those guys' statistical output is amazing. How could you love Melo on the list but not be pro Dame, right?
That's fair.
But not everyone's going to get
put on. No one's going to get put on. Like Vince Carter got left off, and he revolutionized an entire dunk era VC should be there. You see what I'm saying? I get your point.
We said in the chat, man, Vince don't get enough respect for his career.
Vince been winning, bro.
That's wild.
You guys enjoy. Definitely
no Kyrie, bro. Y'all gonna let the vaccine thing
That's
put
not
Kyrie
what
off
it
the
was.
list, bro?
That's
That's
not what
exactly
it
what
is.
it was.
Because at the same time, then you're talking
Exactly
Klay
what it
Thompson
was.
too, and Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard should be up there too.
Clay don't belong on the list.
Dwight Howard don't belong on the list.
Dwight Howard belongs on the list. Clay don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like we
don't
need Kasim. I didn't forget you, bro. I'm gonna send you a message to get you on the Sunday
Kyrie
show.
belongs on the list. What he did in FIBA, what he did in the league. Come on, bro. They let the needle play with the votes, bro.
You guys, listen, a busy week we got ahead. The World Series this week. Some great baseball, playoff baseball. We got Week 7 NFL, NBA basketball being played. The Lakers on the clock. Mr. ATN, Florida Division President. Listen,
bro, it's too bad.
All right, you say that now.
The Celtics is on the clock.
I already know that. I already know that. I'm not even gonna deny that. But
Celtics
today's
on the
on
playoffs, bro.
But you know what?
Clock,
but you know what? Today,
free Tatum.
But you know what? Let free him. You can have him. Today is all about the NFL. I'll be watching these games with an eye. And as I said, the close games, that Ravens and Bengals game will definitely be the ones that I got circled on there for sure. So you guys enjoy the games. I'll talk to you in the chat. Be well.